So first about myself, my name is Broos. For the non-Dutch, you can call me Broos. I think this is one of the pictures that describes me best. I like traveling to Asia, but this is a very special building. It's the largest. Hi, yeah. Welcome. So this is the largest building on Earth. Actually, the only building you can see from outer space. And I like building something big, make an impact on the world, and be there also when the first stone is left. I lived in Hong Kong for 18 months, and I really loved it. Also, I worked for EY, formerly known as Ernst & Young, and I used to work with very big companies, and since 2-3 years I work with startups and rapid growing companies only. EY co-founded the Startup Bootcamp program here in Eindhoven, the High-Tech Excel program, and we're currently selecting the teams for our second program. That's the accelerator program. Here you have 2 days, there we have 3 months, basically to get from the prototype, which you hopefully have by the end of today, towards, well, don't fall asleep, huh? No. So to get from the prototype towards market introduction, raise funding, get customers, and get key partners in supply chain partners, development partners. We have 150 top industry mentors to help you with that, so we can make introductions anywhere in the world. We have a lot of press attention for that program, so that helps you get your company off the ground as well. I also teach at the university here for one of the postmasters, the Smart Energy Buildings in Cities postmaster, and there I give the entrepreneurial finance course. Business modeling is one of the things I really like, and it's also something I did within EY. EY is a very big firm, and today you can really innovate the business model, but I changed small parts of it. I'll come to that. But what we see is a changing world, and what you guys are doing today is one of the examples of that. This wouldn't have been possible 10 years ago. There's so much more technology available, open source, that wasn't available 10 years ago. So you're able to hack together a new product in a weekend. I probably also have to mention that I really like what you're doing because I'm interested in it myself. I wear a basis band since a couple of months now, and it really helped me improve my life. So my biggest problem was getting to bed early, and now this one measures also my sleep. So I've been able to sleep better since I've been wearing it, and I sport more. So yeah, I think what you guys are doing is awesome. What you also see, innovation is a lot about technology innovation, so getting a new product to market, and innovation includes the market introduction in my perception, but nowadays it's also about innovating the business model. And I think the best example of that is the music industry. So if you were the CEO of a company and you retired about 10 years ago, and you were in the music industry, you only knew one business model. And that business model was of a record label, so you get the musicians in, you select them, and you bring the music to the stores, to the radio stations, and you sell it. And that business model has changed in the past 10 years about 3 times now. So we moved from, at first it became digital, the music came to CD, that didn't really change the business model. But after that, of course, Apple came with the iPod and the iTunes store, and then so that was a real game changer. Of course, Napster was there as well. That wasn't really a business model. They were not earning that much, or at least for all the participants involved in the industry. So that was a second or maybe third business model already, and then came Spotify. So nowadays it's not about owning the music anymore, but it's having access to the music. So it's not only the technology innovation that's becoming more important, but also the business model innovation that's related to that. And I think if you are, I'm convinced that if you are able to combine the technology innovation with the business model innovation, you're able to make a lot of impact. So this is the business model canvas. Business model canvas is a tool to visualize your business model. I'll get to that, but from an EY perspective, I changed the business model a little bit. EY was mainly focused on the big companies, but as you know, we are on the terrain here of the technical university. There are a lot of startups here, and there was one problem. Our office is right across the street here, and none of the startups here were actually crossing the street to get to us and well, use our services. And to be fair, we were not crossing the street either. So I used to be an auditor for big companies. I didn't want to do that anymore, and then at the same time EY wanted to be more relevant to startups and rapidly growing companies, because, well, market leaders of today are not the market leaders of tomorrow. So we wanted to be there when they need you most. And so I had to overcome this problem and to innovate our business model a little bit. It's also about listening to your customers, because that gives you the best hints of how to design your business model. For example, one of the barriers is that EY is perceived as not only big but also expensive, guys in suits, and not accessible. It's linked to surprises, so you get an invoice, you call your advisor and you are on the phone for 15 minutes and you get an invoice. Well, we want to change that, so I don't wear suits. Well, I do, but not today. So I changed it. So we now have a subscription for startups and for rapidly growing companies, so they know what they can expect. So there are not that many surprises, or there are no surprises. We also include that you can always ask a question. The first hour is always free. So I'll stop the advertisement here. But this is a small change in your business model, which lowers the barriers and which makes us as a company more relevant to your target audience. And this is of course small. If you want to really change the world, you have to come up with bigger changes to your business model. So I'll leave that up to you. So first, the business modeling that came from somewhere, and I think it's all related to startups. So what is a startup in your definition?
My definition is getting the idea to the market, like a real product.
Yeah. So there's a lot in between the idea and the market. But that's the goal of a startup. Yeah. Any other ideas?
Yeah, for me it's a company in a nubile stage that's trying to get off the ground. It means different to a running company that has got products and markets. Maybe in a startup you're looking already still for investors and still on a development trajectory, maybe trying to decide your final market still. So it's a bit more of an exploratory process, I think, startup.
Yeah, exactly. And that's also related to the business model, because how a startup is defined by a lot of people nowadays, and it started with Steve Blank. It's basically an organization, so it doesn't have to be a company. It can also be a department in a larger company, or some guys or a foundation just wanted to get an idea out. And what you're still doing is you're searching for a business model, a repeatable and a scalable business model. And that's the difference between a startup and a adult organization, because once you have found a business model, once the search is over, then you can execute. So it's the difference in the search and the execution. So it's about searching for your business model, and that includes everything. It also includes your product. Startups fail. There are a lot of reasons, but it's also related to in the past you made a business plan and you try to execute that business plan, but once you talk to the first customer, that goes wrong. So that's where it started with. And if you ask people for a business model, a business plan, they come up with a lot of definitions, and basically the only thing they have in common is that it's a lot of paperwork. And like I said, as soon as you get out of the building, then you're faced with reality, and your plan is likely not to work, because a business plan only works if you have a known future. That's what you can predict, so if you're in a stable environment. So you need to come up with something different, and that became the business model. And the business model is not, it's a framework. It's a one-paper framework, so I showed it before. You can print it out on A3 paper. It's really easy. It has 9 building blocks. And what makes it unique is that for the first time it's made more visual. So whatever your background, if you're a designer, if you're an engineer, if you're a guy from finance, you can talk about this all together, and you can work on your business model. And the business model basically describes in a visual way how you create value, how you bring it to your customers, and how you profit from it, and how you get your revenues in, and also what it costs to deliver that to your customers. And that holds true for a organization, a for-profit organization, also for non-profit organizations. So it can be used everywhere. And well, as you can see, there are 9 building blocks in this business model. I think for today it's important we focus on 3 of them, but I'll briefly go through all 9 because it's all interlinked. The most important thing is the customers, the customer segments. So you always have to really put yourself in the shoes of your customers. You have to talk to a lot of customers, and you have to, as early on as possible, try to sell your product to the customers. That's, for example, why crowdfunding is such a good new trend, because it allows a company to early on get really valuable feedback on their customers. If you sell the product that you're making today, if you're able to sell that on a crowdfunding site 1,000 times, then you have a lot of validation that you're and a lot of information about your customers. You can see where they live, what age they are, what things they like on Facebook. Yeah? There's a lot of information available there. If you're not making something that you can easily sell to customers, if you're in the business-to-business segment, it's probably a bit harder, but it's still as relevant to know who your customers are. And your customers have they only buy your product because they or your service because they have a problem, and that's basically the problem you're trying to solve for them, or you're trying to make their life better, and that's the middle part of the business model canvas. We call it the value proposition. It's the value you as a company deliver to your customer. And these are really interlinked. Because if the value you're offering doesn't match with what the customer needs, you're not selling. That's why these are the 2 most important parts of the business model canvas. And if you start searching for the right business model, this is where most of your time will be spent. And of course they need to be linked. So there is the way you reach your customers, both how your products reach your customers, and that's the channel, as well as the message, how you get your message to your customer. That's the link between your company and the customer. So for example, if we go back to the channels, you can, if you start a crowdfunding campaign, you have a direct channel with them. So you probably you produce your product yourself, or you outsource that, and you start shipping it yourself. So you have a direct channel. But you can also choose, for example, to go to a sports shop and use that as a channel to reach your customers. And it's also, that's strongly related to the kind of relationship you build to your customers. If you, for example, Nike is using sports stores to get their products to the customers. So they have an indirect channel here, but they have quite a direct relationship with their customers because they you use the Nike app, you become part of their community, you invite your friends. They start sending you emails. If you use their tracker, they'll give you direct feedback. So you start to build a relationship with that company. It's mainly an automated relationship because it's through the internet. You don't talk to Nike directly or in person, and that all fits together with the type of product they sell and to which group they sell. If you know all that, and you also need to validate how much people are willing to pay for that, and they are probably willing to pay for the product they buy, the product you're currently making, and that's a one-time sale. But as a company, you want to preferably build a long-term relationship with them, and if possible, you want them to pay for that long-term relationship. So, for example, I wear this tracker, and it's a basis band. I just bought it. There's one time they earn money from me. I go to their website every week to check my sleep, to see how I did with my sports, but they don't charge me for that. If they have some more added value, then I would probably be willing to pay for access to the website in a yearly subscription fee. So that's the way you can capture that value. But as I said, it relates to the value you're delivering and how you bring that value to your customers. So this is all about the front-facing part of the business model, but that's the value deliver. But you also need to create it, and that's the left part of the business model canvas. So and to be able to create that value, you need to have access to resources. You all use some of the different types of hardware. You need to have access to that. So you need to build your supply chain to make sure you have access to these resources. Most important in most companies are the people. That's the biggest resource you have. And especially in the beginning, if you're a startup, it's all about the people, founders of a startup. They need to make it happen. And if you grow bigger, then or are in different industries, it's still important, but probably less important. It's in a startup, it's vital. In a bigger company, it's important. And what these people are doing, that's your key activities. So do you need people to make that product, or do you fully outsource that, and is that not your activity? But for example, the website of the basis where I provide the value, is that their activity? And then you have the key partners. So everything you don't do yourself, you can outsource that to your partners. So this basically determines what you do inside your company and what you do outside your company. But if you start working with the business model canvas, you also see sometimes you can have customers that are partners. Or, it starts overlapping, but basically inside the company, outside. And then if you know all this, you know what it's going to cost. And in the end, depending on what type of organization you are, you want this to be bigger than that, or if you're a non-profit, you want this to be approximately equal. But that's in short the business model canvas. And I think it's good to make it also interactive. If one of you wants to present what you're doing, and then we can think of a business model together for that product. So I think it's a unique chance to let everyone help you on preparing for the presentation this afternoon. And I would like to focus that on the customer segments, the value proposition, and how you're going to earn money with it. So who is going to volunteer? Yeah, ladies first.
Yeah, maybe it's a bit, Right now we are busy with application,
Yeah.
and I think that it's a lot of people doing the same. And maybe there is also standard business model for apps, how you sell it.
Okay. My first question is also already, so what value are you providing to your customers? What problem do you solve for them?
Okay. It's going to be an app who will help somebody who wanted to exercise in golf
Mm-hmm.
to exercise with this app in office, in garden, at home. So not necessarily on the golf course itself.
Yeah.
And also without ball, so you can not damage anything. So you
Okay.
can just exercise in your technique.
Yeah.
And the value can be very high because golf courses are expensive, and when you can most of the technique exercise by yourself without teacher, so you can save from 400 to 1,000 euro.
Okay. So I hear two things that make your proposition, your value proposition, unique, because you don't have to go to the golf course anymore.
Yes.
You can still improve your play,
Mm-hmm.
and did someone hear more?
Wherever you want.
Yeah, wherever you
At
want.
home or whatever.
Yeah.
Yes.
Cheaper.
Yes.
Cheaper.
Saves you a lot of money.
Yeah.
It is cheaper. You are also free with your time,
You have feedback.
and you have feedback when you are not good at it. Yes.
Okay, so
And it is fun to do.
So you get-
It is also fun.
yeah.
It's
Yeah.
most important.
What we are also in the second version.
Screen.
Yeah. Yeah, we can just put it on here. That's
Yeah.
easier. Yeah.
I'm sure the TV won't mind.
yeah.
Yeah.
So anywhere.
Anywhere. It's a golf perfecting app. More or less.
We hope so. Yeah.
Golf
Might make it worse.
training cost saver.
You don't need to join a golf course. There's another cost saver, by the way. But
Yeah.
In the end, you do want to have a trainer, but the trainer will say to you, okay, your posture is not good, or you're doing this
Okay.
wrong, and then with that app you can specifically train on that. If you do
Okay.
an exercise, there are.
I hear two possible propositions
Yeah.
here.
Yeah, I'm in the same team, so
Yeah.
we
no,
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
not.
but-
I'm not. I'm just making noise.
Yeah, that's, so you can use it as an add-on
Yeah.
to your current golf training.
Yeah.
So let's add that as
Yeah.
an add-on, but also for people who don't want to take lessons,
Yeah.
they can use it as well.
Yeah, you can make video tutorials how to use it,
Yeah.
what you have to look for,
Yeah.
and what you're doing.
Yeah.
You're doing the swing, and in the swing, the most important thing, 70% of the people are doing the start position wrong, and they start wrong, and then the rest of the swing is also rubbish because
Yeah.
you're not starting at the right angle,
Yeah.
and then you will not have a complete swing, but it will be going all sideways. So that's
Yeah.
it's not working. So that will perfect that.
Yeah.
So.
And the reason why I see there are two value propositions here is because it directly relates to the customer segment.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because I think the type of customers that don't really want to go to a trainer to perfect their golf skills, they're probably the more the individual types, the introverts, and those who don't like to get outside.
Yeah, but
Or you don't have time.
Or you don't have time.
with the application you can do it faster. You can practice
Yeah.
at home. Once a week you go to the trainer, but in sideways you can also practice. So you will get your green card earlier,
Yeah,
and you can get on the golf course earlier
Yeah.
with your friends and have fun.
yeah.
And you can also
That's
yeah.
just for example.
Yeah.
So you might have the individuals, those who don't like to be part of a group. Let's
Yeah.
make it a bit black and white. And the other customer segment you basically mentioned is the golf trainers, because they want to include it in their training schedule, and they can offer it as an add-on to their existing training program.
Oh, that's good.
If I can just start you at this point. I was looking for the market of the golfers, and apparently this market is going down. And why is this market going down? Because it used to be some wealthy status sport for old people, but right now economy is not that good to keep up with all these status things.
Yeah.
And we see that the number of golfers is going down, and young people not going to the golf, so they're playing other sport because it's cheaper, because it's not cost such a lot of time to learn. And with this app, you can also get like young people who like apps like fun and don't have enough money and enough time, so you can make like a new segment for this golf sport. Why I don't think that the golf trainers will be happy with it, because golf trainers earn money with lessons.
Can I pause you?
Okay.
Because you say a new segment. What segment would that be?
Young people.
Who else might be interested in that proposition?
I think young people is our target group, because old people have enough time and they like to interact, and they mostly with pension, and they can afford long hours and long pools, and so it is not our goal, and they are not so good with apps. So our goal is young people who have a barrier to go to.
I agree, and I think the young people really fit the value proposition, so we should definitely add it, but maybe someone else can help. What other customer segment might be interested in this proposition to get more people interested in golf? Because that's what you're saying.
Yes.
Yeah. It sounds like cost is the big barrier, and it's so maybe low income segment and not necessarily divided by age.
Yeah.
I heard you also telling about tennis racket and things, so...
Yeah, but it's the next step, so it is like you have to start somewhere.
Yeah, but
So-
you can take it already into...
Yeah,
Most of you have.
because there's a total different market.
Yeah.
That's a different market, but it's the same device.
Yeah,
We
Yes.
sta-
same
we-
device, so...
We now have a specific goal on golfers because we have a hackathon. We have 32 hours.
Yeah.
We focus
I
for
think
the
it's
Yeah, but
really
that-
good to focus in the beginning, because otherwise you won't be able to
you
get
won't
the
succeed.
Because
market.
then it's
So-
total different market. So
If you
it's
if
not
you get that
different.
running, then you also
Yeah.
can say, okay, the golfers use it and it's worldwide being used. And if you also make a social aspect, that you can share your scores with friends and compete with each other to see, okay, I'm better than you.
That's a different value proposition
Yeah.
again, the social aspect.
Yeah.
So we probably add that as well. But what I was thinking about when you said I want to get more people interested in golf, who would be willing to pay for that? I think that
Yes.
would be the National Golf Federation.
I'm personally I work a lot in sales and marketing, and that is like sport for that kind of guys. So in my vision, that is like a young professional who has a career and who has maybe have a competition with team building and with customers to go play golf, but don't have enough time to spend. So it will be like a business segment mostly, because golf is kind of elite sport, so I don't think that low incomers will be very interested
But maybe the golf courses are on a business to business level, because they can attract a bigger demographic into their golf courses if they want. I mean, it's similar to your idea of the national.
Yeah,
golf.
so it's basically golf federations and golf courses, maybe not individually but grouped in a region or something. So the way I see it from a business model perspective, I think you have a few distinct groups of customer segments. So one are more the individual and casual golfers. Maybe we group them. The second is the golf trainers, because they can add it as provide it as an add-on to their current training. And the third are, let's call them the golf federations or the interest groups. And that way, and they're
I have a little bit doubt about the golf trainers. Actually, they earn money with giving lessons, and if they sell these apps, so this shoot themselves in the feet. So
If I were a golf trainer and I want to disrupt the market, and you are all golf trainers, and I want to put you out of business, I would use this app because I can tell my customers I can teach you to be a good golfer quicker and cheaper.
And you get more business.
I get customers.
Yeah.
Well, I think there's another segment in this, because also the sporting stores who sell the clubs can use this app to see if you buy new clubs, how your swing is, and then recommend the club that suits you well.
That's a good idea. Yeah.
okay.
Maybe we can do one other case.
Yeah, I want to make the link to the revenue because I think because you have let's keep it at 3. We're brainstorming here. You have 3 distinct groups which might be willing to pay differently. So the golf trainer probably wants to have a subscription and they can buy 5, 10, 100 of your apps to give away to their customers at a price he wants. So he's willing to pay differently from the individual golfers. And they probably don't want to find a golf trainer, maybe not at first. So they're probably willing to pay like 10 euros for it in the App Store. This golf trainer probably doesn't want to pay for the app itself, but wants a subscription and will pay you annually 100 or 200 or 300 euros.
And you can ask money for the tutorials.
Exactly.
And
So
data.
There's a lot of opportunities here. But the way, so this is a one-time transaction. And this, you can get to a subscription. So you have different...
With a very interesting option. So if the trainer gives you the app and you go home to practice, he can log what you're doing. And he gets the statistics on his pupils. And then he can ask more money from the pupils about the feedback, how their progress is. Yeah, so you are giving the trainer a new revenue model.
Can I ask why you consider the app a one-off sale with the customer?
Well, it can be different, but I wanted to make a point.
Okay,
That you have different revenue streams.
Sure.
Yeah. It all depends on the value you're providing.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
So I want to leave it at this for now. Like you see, you have different values which might appeal to different customer segments. And which might have different revenue streams. So.
Okay, one time maybe.
Yeah, no, please make a photo, and then we can.
Paper swing business model.
Paper swing. That's innovation.
Wow.
And the better your swing is, the less pay it becomes.
Yeah. That's a good one. That's an incentive. That includes elements of gamification as well. You have a real incentive to perfect your swing because then you pay less for the practice.
But,
Can I propose that we do one other case?
Yeah.
Yes, my question was, is there a standard business model for the app selling? So how do you sell an app?
Well, there is a standard model. If you look at the App Store, so they have a certain value proposition, which of course depends on the type of app they have. The customers are quite broad, but many consumers. They all have a online relationship with them, and the channel is the Apple App Store, the Google Play Store, and the revenues, most of them just have the one-time transactions. And that's also where a lot of apps come into problems. For example, many apps, so first it's great because you sell a lot of apps, you have this income, and then your target audience has the app, and then they don't make revenues anymore. So then they bring out a version 2.0 and they charge again for it. So you piss off your customers who already bought your product. So they have a business model focused on transactional revenues, which will get down over time, and then that's difficult. So you have to think about the business model before. So that's the standard model.
You can keep it up by selling the tutorials. You have novice experienced, professional, and you can ask for a professional tutorial more money than for a novice tutorial.
Exactly, but that is the business model innovation, and that's why you need to think about all of this before you start it. Because if you, and you can of course, you need to iterate and come up with new ideas, but if your business model, like the standard app model, is transaction based, and you need to basically screw your existing customers to make more revenue, which was not clear up front, then you have to overcome another hurdle. You create barriers, and you don't want that. So if you lock in your customers with a subscription, they know up front I have to pay this much every year, and then and you can only do that if you have the added value of, for example, the tutorials. Yeah. Okay, let's go to your case.
We have something for people who are not too old, but also not too young.
Yeah.
When they look in the mirror, they see that they're kind of a shade of the former self. Their cheeks are a bit fluffy, and maybe their belly's a bit rounded than they used to be.
Yeah.
So it's time to get fit. Okay, what can you do? You can maybe go to the gym, maybe pay 30 euros per month. But the question is, if he's going to pay, is he going to take all the value out of it? He might go to the gym, a bit scrawny and everything, and stand next to these big gym rats and not feel comfortable over there. So now the question is, what can he do? What are the alternatives? I think the best alternative there is actually a personal coach. Someone who can really help you, cater to your personal needs and everything, and won't make you feel embarrassed. Problem is, they might cost 90 euros per hour or something. And I think the average Joe doesn't have the money for that. What we have is a virtual personal coach. It is a combination of a smartphone app and a training suit that will measure all your body position, so to say. This app will provide you with exercises and it will track your correct posture. If it's incorrect, it will notify you through audio feedback how to modify your position to make it correct again. Even if it's correct, but you might become tired or something, it will motivate you through audio, like, come on, keep going, keep going. Now the question is, how can I sell this to the average Joe?
First, great page.
Thank you.
Great page. It's a good story. You make the problem clear. It's a problem, I think. Yeah, I don't want to insult anyone, but we can all relate to it. And so then people are on the front end of the seat and they want to know your solution, and you provide the solution, which also, I mean, yeah, it sells. And for example, for me, I use this thing. I also have a heart rate monitor for when I'm running. Mm-hmm. So it's great. I can see in my app the runs I did. But what I want is the next step, which you are going to provide, is to provide me with a customized training schedule to help me run half a marathon. And so yeah, great page. So let's build the business model. Mm-hmm. So this time it's up to you. I want to start with the value proposition. What did you hear? What's the value proposition?
You save some money, it's low cost, it was about the hourly rate of the trainer.
Yeah, save cost.
Body movement data.
Motivational coach.
Sorry, what you said?
Body
movement data. So what's the value of that towards the customer?
No injuries.
Sorry,
You're doing it the correct way, so you have no injuries.
Yeah.
Correct posture.
Yeah.
So it is an expert opinion or an expert view. What is, you have to pay a lot of money to get an expert feedback.
So
it's an anywhere device again, I think.
Yeah.
You get.
Sorry, that's the next one. So I want to combine the three, because basically what you're saying is you get the value to the customer is that you have the expert view, and thus you have less injuries. That's basically what you're saying. Right. Okay.
Motivation when you do it right.
Yeah.
Or if you do
Motivation.
it wrong, then it will say it also. But if you're on the right way, then it'll say you're good.
It's stimulating.
Yeah.
Motivation.
Will make it more fun, maybe.
Okay.
It can adapt to your body, like the training can adapt to your body.
So what's the value to the customer that's adapted to your body?
Yeah, less injuries. It's just fit your body because when you sometimes train, you want to do something, but it's maybe too much. Get an injury. So now it's really
It's a fitted program, right?
yeah, it's
highly
a really
personal.
fitted program.
Yeah.
Customized.
Yeah.
Personalized.
Yeah. Okay.
It's
So,
really
so
your
the
mind.
personal approach. Okay, so I think is that also what you had in mind with the value proposition?
Yes, definitely.
Okay.
Not every individual has the same goals. Maybe if someone wants to become a bit slimmer, a bit more in shape, someone might want to become a bit more muscular, someone might want to increase the endurance.
Yeah.
So it's not the same for everyone, and I think that's one of the strengths of this concept.
Yeah. And this is how the value you provide, and
Yeah.
that helps to get them fitter.
Yeah.
So, better life, you could also say as a value proposition to sum it up and make it small. So, who are the customer segments you guys think for this idea?
Everyone. I really think.
Yeah, I think so too. But it's individuals.
Sportive.
Not only individuals. If you have that shirt, what you're talking about, it can also be for the professional to say, okay, I want to coach you. You get the shirt from me for a couple of weeks, and then you know how to train, and then it can be used for somebody else. And the fitness trainer will not always be there to give you professional opinion on that moment. It will first say you how to use it, what's good for you, give advice, and then say with that application you can use it in my sports school, and every 2 months you come to me for a consult, and you can walk it through and get you even better.
Now I hear a lot of different customer segments already. You started with everyone. I think everyone in the end will benefit from this.
Yeah.
But the customer segments are, you said, so.
The sports guy himself.
Yeah.
People who are exercising.
Exercise. Yeah.
The exorcist.
Personal. Exercising individuals. But also, you said the more professional athletes who. Did I hear that correctly? Yeah. Yeah. So can we make everyone a bit more specific besides these segments?
Maybe people that are rehabilitating.
Yeah. So people rehabilitating.
And the trainers. Who can give it as
Trainers? Yeah,
plus,
yeah, it's the same as the golf case. Yeah.
And you already mentioned the middle-aged profile, maybe with less time. Middle-aged professionals, less time, and this is something you can do anywhere, anytime.
Yeah, I had mainly 3 general groups in mind. The major one is, well, so to say, the average Joe, so indeed the middle-aged guy.
Yeah.
Another one was, well, the hardcore fitness junkie, so to say.
Yeah.
To really bring the max out of himself.
Yeah.
And the third segment was indeed rehabilitation therapy.
Yeah. Okay.
So something that you can wear at home. You go to rehabilitation center every time you need to go for a training, but just take an hour every day at home and from the comfort of your own couch, so to say.
So, what revenue can we get from these these segments.
Subscription to a fitness program.
Yeah, so online fitness program, and then you basically, for the duration of the training, you rent the suit.
For example.
Yeah.
I would say I buy the suit and then I can get data online, which is like the basic movement data, but I can also get added trainer advice, which is a premium fee.
Okay.
Yeah.
But did you have like a one-time fee in mind, or?
I buy the shirt, that's a one-time fee, and then I have a monthly low fee for the basic data with visualization, and then an added fee if I also want trainer advice.
Okay.
So premium advice fees.
I don't
Also
know.
the mix and match to couple the trainer with the person, the individual.
Yeah. And yeah, you can think of different ways. You can charge your customers, but you can also charge the trainers for that.
Yeah.
So, but matching fees.
Is there also money in the data that you collect? Like selling the data?
To actually earn money from this.
Yeah, but if you got the data from everybody, maybe you can sell it to companies who are interested in it.
Yeah, or governments who want to stimulate activities. Yeah.
Yeah.
You have a very well. Each time you know your market sector, so you could sell advertising space on your app.
Advertising again.
Unfortunately,
It has a textile display now woven into your shirt.
Yeah.
Custom. You become a billboard.
Yeah, let's leave it at this. I think, and that's the good thing to experience, is that this starts your energy flowing on the business model, and the idea is, if you have a startup, normally there is one business model you have in mind, and that's what you're going to execute, and that's also what people used to put in a business plan. There's one business model, that's what we're going to execute. The trick is not to get stuck in that one business model. So what we're doing now is basically business model innovation. So you're going to come up with different business models. And do you want to take a picture? Then I'll.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah. And if you have different business models, you need to start testing them out to find out which ones are the most relevant, which one allows you to have a scalable and repeatable business and to make a profitable business out of it as well. So, just want to give you a short view through the next steps, and I'll keep it short because that's what comes after this. So there are different ways to innovate your business model, and that's what-if questions. So, for example, I'll give one example. I'll skip through the rest. So, what if? I gave this example already. So channels. You want your business, your customers, to easily make repeatable purchases without you having to make an effort for it every time. So a great business model for that case is the Nespresso, because they created the Nespresso machine, they patented the design of the cups, and you become part of the Nespresso club. So you can you come into the shop, they scan your card, they know what you ordered, what you ordered. Sorry. So they know what you ordered, and then they don't have to make an effort anymore. So basically the business is running itself, and they get so one of the key elements in their
You say they don't have to make any effort anymore. They bombard you with advertisement with George Clooney on TV and Matt Damon. So I think that's a pretty big effort to get your product in the market.
Yeah,
You hire such expensive actors to promote your product.
it's true, but that's mainly to get the customer in first to buy the machine, and after that they have a relatively low effort to make you buy more cups. So there's part of the business model for which they do have to make an effort, the customer acquisition, but once you bought the machine, for them it's relatively easy to sell you the cups. And of course they had it patented and the patent expired, so now it's more difficult, so now you see them everywhere, so that business model changed because of that. But at first they had this great lock-in. So you ask the what if questions, you can do that in a lot of ways, and then you come up with different business models. You can think of trillions of different business models. And it's up to you as a startup to find and to search for that one business model or the two business models that work. And that's what you need. You need to start scaling. So once you found that, you know your customers, you know how to sell your product to your customers, you make the revenue, you start earning money, then it's time to scale your company, so to get the salespeople in and build a real company out of it. So that's a short introduction into business modeling. If you want to know more, I'm around. So are there any last questions?
Can you come to the table?
Of course, yeah.
Well, also, I've got some business canvases on my laptop,
Yeah.
but can we print out it so we can put it, or can do you
Yeah,
have some
I've got a lot of
spares?
copies here, so you
Sorry.
can use them.
Can I have more?
I
need 100.
Now you can also download the PDF. It's online, and you can fill it in.
I've already got a PDF, but for today it'd be nice to have a physical sheet so we can play around with some stickers on it.
Yeah.
Great. Okay, so I'll take one of those.
Yeah.
So
Oh, you have this TV screen.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, don't use the marker on the screen directly. Okay. Well, if there are no questions, for now, then thanks.
And
And
a final tip for their presentations this afternoon. What makes a great presentation? Like one tip.
Yeah, so I started bootcamp. I see a lot of pitches, and you have to think about the audience you have, and you have to the elements you put in the presentation have to be specific for that. But there are a few elements which always need to be in there. It's the problem. So you need to make the problem clear, and your solution. What makes your solution unique? And whether you start, I normally start with the problem, but you can also start with the solution. And yeah, you guys have been working really hard for 2 days, so maybe it's good to start with the solution and then also iterate on the problem. But these things need to be crystal clear. So the way you described it, I think that's a great way to do the pitch. And then I would add, in this case, also really briefly the business model. And then maybe the key question the jury will have is, how are you going to make money with this? So actually the 3 elements we described. That's what you need to put in the pitch. So the problem is the value proposition. It's you phrase it differently. So this, and this needs to be in your pitch.
Okay, so it's a short pitch, so we don't worry so much about the costs and the supply chain, this kind of thing. We focus on the problem statement, the solution.
You only have 3 minutes.
Yeah, exactly.
3 minutes. 3 minutes is, I personally think it's the most difficult pitch you have to give, because it's too long because you have more than 2 sentences, but it's too short to explain everything.
Yeah.
So you really have to focus on the main parts.
Yeah.
And the main parts are these 3 things. So the problem, 1 minute. Well, maybe problem and the solution more than 1 minute.
Yeah.
And then shortly also on how you're going to make money.
Right.
But that's the only 3 things you probably can get across in 3 minutes.
Yeah. And demonstration of the product, also in that 3-minute pitch, I guess.
The way to convince a jury is what helps if you can show what you have.
Sure.
Yeah. So and yeah, make it, especially that part, you can really differentiate you from the other teams.
Yeah.
Make it awesome and special in a bit.
Yeah.
Make them remember you.
Yeah.
So if you have the goal thing, maybe you also need to make it fun. So maybe you can come on stage and all start golfing or something. But you make it special.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
But it is demo plus presentation all together 3 minutes?
Yeah.
Wow. That's a challenge.
Yeah.
The thing is, if I say 10 minutes, everybody will take 20, and then we'll be here until this evening.
Oh,
you
so
say
I hear we can make 6 minutes
we
of
can
it.
do 6
Yeah.
minutes.
Oh, nice, thank you.
Yeah, but also I think it's a skill to make these three things clear in 3 minutes.
Yeah.
And actually, if you can keep it shorter, normally you're able to impress the jury more.
Yeah.
So it's not, everyone has the tendency to tell a lot, but think about what is the essential of the problem, what is the essential of the solution.
Yeah.
And maybe the revenue, that can be 1 or 2 sentences. It needs to be clear, we're going to earn money from a subscription because we're going to provide this value in the long term. That's all you have to say about that. But problem, solution, customer, make that clear.